Very nice. Just autopilot, just, you know, that little slight over-the-top move that you've kind of got going. It's a very good delivery you've got for a wedge, or any short iron really, but the numbers are really, really nice. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So not many clubs left that we haven't reviewed yet this year, Michael. But two of the irons in the game improvement category that we've been sort of waiting on a little slot in the schedule with the bracket and the other things we've had going on. We've been waiting to do this one, a head-to-head, Callaway versus TaylorMade. They always get put against one another, don't they? Yeah. The battle of the big guns. The two biggest names, I would argue, in the marketing world when it comes to the slogans, year on year, always obviously driving innovation, but marketing that innovation extremely strongly at the same time. So we've got the Qi10 versus Ai Smoke. Yeah. We have smart face technology versus smart distance.
That's good. That's nicely said. Yeah. No, this will be good. Interesting to see. I think, and we'll talk about it more in a minute, but they're quite different, the two irons. Yeah. In shape and construction.
Aesthetically, it sets up very, very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have a head-to-head. Due to the nature of how strong the lofts are in these irons, we're going to go a little bit weaker a little bit weaker, I guess, in the test today. We're going to do 6, 8, and wedge. Yeah. Because the 6 irons, as we have seen, obviously, in recent years, has gotten really, really strong.
Yeah. 4 iron lofts.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. We've got 24-degree 6 iron from Callaway, 25-degree 6 iron from, sorry, other way around, 24 from TaylorMade, 25 from Callaway.
That's strong.
Which is very, very strong. They have the exact same loft at 32 in the 8 iron, and the Callaway actually is 1 degree stronger in the wedge than the TaylorMade. So different loft progressions as we go through, which is, guys, another reason why, as we always say to you guys, you've really got to be fitted. You've kind of got stronger lofted long irons from one company, but a weaker wedge setup, and then vice versa with the others. I don't know how anyone ever knows what really they need unless they go through the process. So we have the same shafts, we have the same setup in each. So we're going to have you hit them and give us your thoughts and feedback. In the playing position, obviously feel, and we'll dissect the numbers as we do on the test, but I want to sort of, you know, be in your mind a little bit as the player, like what is the user experience when it comes to these?
Definitely. Okay.
All right, Mikey, we're going to start you with the Ai Smoke iron first. Okay. We were really big fans of the Paradigm iron last year.
Totally. We fit a lot of customers into Paradigms. We did well with it. And the Paradigm X at the time we did well with, but this is its big brother, the Ai Smoke. Looks okay. Excited to see what it sounds like.
Okay, let's take a little look. 42 degrees of loft on this one. Very nice, very nice. Is that why they call you the Wedge Master? Is this why it is?
Wedge Master, right.
Very nice. Just autopilot, just, you know, that little slight over-the-top move that you've kind of got going. And I'm not saying that jokingly. I actually mean that. It's a very good delivery you've got for a wedge, or any short iron, really, but the numbers are really, really nice. It just looks really, really easy. Yeah. Everything you would want this iron to be honest.
Totally. I mean, there's a couple there early on that I know the visually it looked okay, but the strike didn't feel the best, and it still, I mean, it still got there, still did what you wanted it to do.
Well, you know, knowing obviously we've got some stronger lofts, I've set the pin at 137. You've hit that 135. Your average distance from the hole is 6'10". Yeah. Ball speed is really consistent. Launch, spin are really, really good. Okay, let's go into Qi10. So for me, visually, from my position, looking back at these, they look quite different.
Yeah, it's a big, clunky, offset iron.
It's a game improvement.
Yeah, that's what
club, isn't it?
That's what it's designed for. I think the back badging looks, clean, but definitely quite a bit of offset compared to Ai Smoke pitching wedge.
Yeah, one of the things they talk about with Qi10 is the manipulation of CG, so the flighted CG. So we tend to see it much, much higher in the wedge to drive the flight down a little bit. See, make sure we don't get that deflected shot when you get the CG too low and you apply a little bit too much loft. You tend to end up getting the mass in the wrong spot.
Right,
Raise
okay.
that CG, can retain a little bit more ball speed and improve the launch conditions a little bit, guys. So this will be interesting to see if you get a little bit more of a powerful flight by the CG being higher. How'd you hit that?
Skinny?
Yeah, didn't sound as good as the other ones. Done quite well for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting how this one sits. Definitely that heel, you know that high heel we talk about sometimes in pitching wedges, this sits, the hosel looks like it sits super flat comparative to the head, which is interesting.
Good there, Mikey.
Yeah.
A little bit more spin in this one. You can see it just in a slightly different little window. Again, this is where we're talking about CG location, and obviously there's 1 degree more loft on this guy as well, but you know, that's where we can create same speed, same launch, and different spin. That's the manipulation of obviously CG that allows us to do that. Great looking flight. I just feel it in your bones. There's a hole-in-one coming for you soon, my pitching wedge, you know? No, it's tugged it a little bit, but you wouldn't be upset with the result.
No.
Okay, all right, on to the 8. I mean, those AI smoke irons sound unbelievable.
Yeah, they are so much. Like, okay, we get it. Size is a huge difference compared to the Qi10s, but this is a set of irons that you look down at it, you're like, I could play that iron all day long.
You know, it's what we said. I think we said the same thing with Paradigm last year. It was like, you know, anyone could any level of golfer could be attracted to an iron shape like that.
Totally.
I mean, our good friend Scott, who obviously has been on the channel, and you know, Scott's a good player, and you know, we got him into those. He's a Mizuno guy, has been for years, and didn't miss a beat going into a head of that shape.
I think it's one of those you look at on the wall and you see the title game improvement, and some people stay away from it.
Yeah.
Like an example for Scott, and then you put it down, you look at it, you're like, I could use this.
That last one, you know, we'll go obviously straight towards the stronger lofts, and people will say, oh, it's not really an 8 iron, you know. But listen, in the part of the bag or in the area of the bag for the player who adds dynamic loft, it is still an 8 iron. You know, Mikey is not of the weak dynamic loft sort of mold. You know, he's delivering 23.6, so he's effectively takes off about 9 or so degrees of loft off of his club. That's a really strong iron striker who does that. We have people who are coming in to see us who actually add loft relative to the static loft. So, you know, an 8 iron like this at 32 degrees, and we'll look at dynamic loft at 34 because they're normally out to in with a little bit of an open face, and they add quite a bit. That's who this iron is aimed at. So the fact you're hitting at 170, no issue with that at all. I just love the sound of it coming off the face of this thing as well.
That one might have been a fraction bit of like, I would say maybe some turf behind it.
And a bit toy.
Toey.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still got there.
Strong. Very strong.
The nice thing is they sound solid too. Again, game improvement iron. Some of the game improvement stuff, you're handcuffed to how they're going to sound and look. These things, acoustically, put them up against a T200, T1, even T150, and it's not massively far off.
Really nice dispersion circle.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Okay, let's go into the QI. Okay, this will be interesting to see where the launch and spin is, because we obviously saw TaylorMade was 1 degree weaker last time, but had a higher center of gravity. So we did see some spin, extra spin on the TaylorMade. This will be interesting to see if this is more like for like.
Okay.
And you also now, I believe on the 8, do you have the speed pocket now on 8?
Yes.
So some of those lower strikes, which some of the strikes have been a bit low, see if you do start to get a little bit more
okay.
contribution out of the head. Like, to me, that sounded and looked like there was more in that again.
Totally.
So now, based on the CG, like we said, we're starting to basically say like for like.
Yeah.
For the most part. Okay, a couple more. Flushed it. A little bit lower in the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the tendency with the QI for me is a little lower strike.
Mm-hmm. Very flat in its flight, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it comes out really, really low.
Really flat. One more. You're flushing it though.
Yeah.
Good, okay, over onto the 6 irons. Okay, into the 185 territory.
Yeah.
What are you seeing?
You can start to see a little bit of offset start to kick in, but again, it'd be hard to find a group of people to say they don't like the look of this iron from the top all the way down.
Pretty good there.
Yeah.
Really good. Do it. Just give me a center strike for once, would you? Come on.
That sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Slight little cut on it, but not bad. One more. Good. Pretty good. Pretty good, Michael. Good swing there, Mikey. Yeah, the Qi10 has a gear in it, doesn't it?
It's like a little hybrid. If you swing at it, it's like a hybrid.
Quite similar sort of numbers. I mean, obviously, other than, you know, how far it's going.
Yeah,
ball speeds went up quite a bit now.
129, yeah.
129. Spin is a little bit less than what AI Smoke. Now, guys, we had to change ball. We were playing a Callaway ball, Chrome Tour to start with, and we flipped Mikey into his Pro V1X for the 6 irons because, to be honest, they were going about 60 feet, weren't they?
Yeah,
55, 60 feet. They were going
knuckleballs.
Knuckleballs. So we did have to throw in Pro V1X into the mix, which for Mikey playing these types of irons, we probably should have started with, but you know, we're doing it where we need it, and it's quite interesting to see. I'm going to do a little illustration in a second, Mikey, between your 8 iron spin and your 6 iron spin when we change the ball.
Yeah.
It's actually really close.
Interesting.
So give me 2 more with this one. Nice wide, fast swings. Good.
That ball speed's definitely gone up.
Yep. All right, Mikey boy. Let's start with the wedge. Similar ball speed, similar launch.
Yeah, close.
The only reason the launch is less with QIs is just it was a fraction more pulled. But this is where we talked about center of gravity was quite a difference. Yep. Huh. Quite a difference in those two. Obviously, 600 RPMs is what some people will want. Totally. It's a little bit more spin when it comes to the wedges. So, you know, definitely like that. To me, you seem like you enjoyed hitting the AI Smoke wedge a lot more than the Qi10. Is that just the shape?
The AI Smoke, like through the carpet or through the turf, was able to feel like the club actually get to the ball, whereas Qi10, I think just being a little thicker, just tough to kind of get that feeling of kind of bottoming out properly.
Yeah, I mean, it's designed that way, to be fair. You know, they talk about dynamic sole design when it comes to the AI Smoke iron. So a little bit of relief at the front and the back, and the leading and trailing edge. I really think that's something that a lot of companies are missing a trick on when it comes to just the user experience with the irons. But in terms of the overall number, net out quite similar, really.
Totally, yeah.
8 iron, as we talked about, where we suspected centre of gravity would start shifting lower on Qi10, so we might find that they perform quite similar. We definitely found that.
Yeah.
We did see the Qi10 be a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
Jumped up in distance a little bit more, but launched a little bit lower.
Definitely came out flatter, that 8 iron right in the gates.
Way. Yeah. And then into the 6 iron. Distance became, again, a little bit more stretched out. You were getting quite a bit more ball speed. I thought you hit the AI Smoke a little bit more centered, which I think you did.
Yeah.
But it seemed like you were getting more out of the Qi10, whether that's the speed pocket technology or the kind of the tech in that one. There was quite a bit of a jump in the Qi10 ball speed.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Qi10, again, I think it's a little bit of sole width for me. I rarely would you see someone who's 4 or 5 down on it that would fit into something like a Qi10. I think, in my opinion, the online for AI Smoke, what it's labeled under as is game improvement iron. I feel like they've hurt themselves doing that a little bit because it's not. It does definitely help your game, but it's not for that game improvement person that may be in a Qi10 or a T400 or ZX4, something of that nature, which Qi is. So, yeah, it's interesting. I like that AI Smoke. I mean, if shafted properly to the right spec, I'd have no issues playing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
Quite nice. When we kind of look at why was the Qi10 going further, ball speed being higher, we obviously can go straight to dynamic loft, and we can see that dynamically it was the same, even though there's 1 degree of difference statically. The TaylorMade's 1 degree stronger. It didn't play that way because dynamically you were delivering the exact same amount of loft. You were slightly more down on the Callaway, slightly. So the spin loft obviously got a little bit wider. See, did that result in more spin? It did, a little bit. So that's where you're going to get a little bit more spin from. A launch was more of a byproduct of obviously the dynamic loft and strike location, but definitely the head produces a bit more speed out of the TaylorMade.
Yeah, that little speed pocket helps.
Aesthetically, we think, well, I'm pretty sure we know who you like the most. Callaway is really packaged that up. It's interesting what you say about game improvement iron. I think by categorizing it as a game improvement iron, though, what they do is they stretch the sort of the users who could fit into it. I think when you start saying players distance, players cavity, players, people are, well, I'm a player. They start to think about that themselves, like, I consider myself a player. Whereas game improvement, lots of people want to improve their game.
Good point.
If that's the way people are perceived, guys, let us know. Like, do you guys even look at the labeling of golf clubs and go, is that me? And try and determine whether it's for you. But I think the package that AI Smoke comes in is very appealing.
Yeah, no, they've done a nice job to, like we said, we liked Paradigm last year. AI Smoke is a great iron.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, guys, so 2 irons designed at sort of the meat of the bell curve when it comes to these 2 major brands, TaylorMade and Callaway. They've kind of went about it in different ways. TaylorMade clearly going after sort of a larger footprint in their head design. Obviously, smart distance. They're talking about how far their clubs go and making sure that everybody sort of hits the markers along the way. Callaway talking about AI Smart Face and how that face is designed to match the different deliveries that golfers have and different strike points and all the different combinations of golfers out there. It's designed to really manage the best of what everyone brings, or the worst in that case.
Totally.
So, so 2 really, really good irons. I think one will inspire a bit more confidence. One will inspire a little bit more sort of it'll please the user in terms of when you put it down, the shape of it when it sits down, I think will look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But again, like everything else, you've really got to go and test them for yourself and be fitted and see what it is that you need. Looking at the flights and how flat their trajectory was getting for Mikey, I think the high dynamic loft players are going to benefit from these. Again, Yeaman is a high dynamic loft player, our friend, good player, 3-4 handicapper, went into Paradigms. I think he could play Ai Smoke. Same deal.
Easily.
Could he play Qi10?
No.
He wouldn't. We know he wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I think that's where maybe there's slight difference. That's what I mean, in terms of the golf or the size of the market that both irons go to. I think Ai Smoke really stretches that much wider. I think Qi10 probably goes like 10 to mid or low 20s.
Yeah, good point.
In that sort of territory. Whereas Ai Smoke could be one end of the spectrum to 100%. The other. Really.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, guys, let us know what you think. What do you think of these two irons? Have you tested them? Are they on your radar? Is there any others that you would like us to test in this, call it, game improvement segment of the iron market? Please let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.